My name is Ed Frawley. My wife and I own Leerburg, and I want to preface this video that's being put in our social media that this specific video came out of a course, an online course that we produced and that we sell on Leerburg.com. The course has over 204 videos, over 20 hours of videotape in this course. This video you're about to watch came out of the course titled Dealing with Dominant and Aggressive Dogs. So if you have an interest in learning about that, go to Leerburg.com, go to our university section, and you can read detailed notes about what's in the course. You can see a complete outline of the course. If you have an aggressive dog, our course is going to help you fix your problem. If not fix it, it's going to teach you how to manage your dog's problem. So this is a very common scenario for people that get a puppy and they have kids, because it deals with a puppy getting overly excited, or maybe not even overly excited, just excited and starting to growl when he's playing with kids. Growling can mean one of two things. It can be a warning that the dog is feeling uncomfortable, or it can be when the dog gets excited. Some dogs, when they get really excited in play, will just naturally start to growl. That is not aggression. That's just the dog vocalizing, okay? And on dogs that are growling because they're uncomfortable, to correct that dog for growling doing that is a mistake. You don't do that. The reason you don't do it is the dog already feels uncomfortable with whatever scenario, situation you're having in, and then you correct the dog for that. Well, now he's got two reasons to be upset. He's upset over the environment you have him in, or what's in the environment, and he's upset over what you just did, so it's going to make things worse. But if he's growling because he's having a good time and he's excited, there's nothing wrong with that. Just let it alone. We just got our first dog. He's a Border Collie Lab mix. He was 6 weeks old when we got him. He is now just 3 months old. He is brilliant, maybe too smart. That's not the problem. I read your article on different aggressive behaviors, and I'm more curious about the prey aggression. I see this in my puppy. When the children, or I, am running, he starts running in front and nips at my legs and at my children. Normal behavior for a puppy. Almost as if he were herding me. Herding as in herding sheep, not hurting. He has gotten the skin a few times. If I yell down, in time he will stay down. It's a lot to expect on a three-month-old dog. We don't get our puppies to lay down and stay down when they're 3 months old. There's too many other things that they have to learn. I've been also expressing to my children to freeze, and usually he walks away when he's been jumping on them. Occasionally, he doesn't stop, and he continues to jump and puppy bite on their arms and legs. He's not at all mad or angry, just playing, but it can hurt. I know it can hurt. At times, he will bare his teeth at me, but for the most part, he will just pull his tail between his legs, lower his head, put his ears back. When I sit to play with him, it consists of biting at every part of my body, and the biting gets hard, even to break the skin. I can tell him no bite, and he will then just bump me with his nose for a few seconds, and then the mouth opens again. It usually ends in someone getting hurt, me or one of my children. We don't allow small children, and we don't recommend people allowing small children to play with little puppies. That is bad management, because it only leads to problems like this. Little children, leave puppies alone. There'll be plenty of time in the life of a dog to learn how to play correctly with a dog. But when it's a little puppy and young kids, They don't go together. And whether people have this video and they don't agree with me, that's their prerogative. Then they can run around and they can have problems like this, because that's what's going to happen. We teach our kids to stay away from the puppies. We teach our kids to stay away from dogs. Little kids stay away from dogs. And we teach the dogs to leave the kids alone. There's no reason to have kids and dogs interact unless the adult is there managing them, and the dog should be on a leash, but it shouldn't happen for a long, long time until after people have a very clear feeling or understanding of what the temperament is on the dog that they have. Some dogs, I'm the first one to admit, and I've owned them, some dogs can be perfect with little kids. But what are you going to do if you make a mistake? And how are you going to know if your dog is one that might make a mistake? The only way you're going to know for sure is if you control the scenarios that your dog is allowed to be in, and if that dog is on leash. It's a foreign thought for a lot of people to put a dog on leash in the house. I don't know why. I don't know why. But it's how you can control your dog in the house. With a dog crate, with an X-Band, with a dog tethered to you, or when the dog gets a little bit older, in a dog bed over there where it's tethered to something and it has to stay there. It can't get off and run around. But just as importantly, you have little kids, they got to learn, stay away from the dog. I told you, stay away from the dog. As smart as he is, it seems like he would get to know better. No, I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. And another thing that we don't do when we raise our puppies is we don't get down on the ground in the house and roll around and play with our puppies. We don't do that. All of the play is done outside because we want to teach our dogs to be calm and quiet and lay quietly in the house. That's, if you play roughhouse with your dog in the house, they're learning to play and be rough and wild in the house. Do you want that? Maybe not. Not if you got a dog that's going to end up being a 60, 70-pound dog, because then what are you going to do? It's one thing to have a little puppy this big and play with it. When you got a dog like this, what are you going to do? You're going to have to use corrections to stop it. So why even start it to begin with? In the end, I don't believe that he's trying to hurt us. He's not. But he is not learning, and I do not want a dog that thinks that he is dominant. The dog's not dominant. If you've heard me say it once, you've heard me say it 100 times in this course. Maybe way, way, way less than 1% of dogs out there are dominant. And to know that on a 6-week-old dog or a 3-month-old dog, no 3-month-old dog of any breed, none of them are dominant. They are not. I want to do everything right by this dog, but also for my family. I've read through articles of yours to know usually there are signs. I don't know if I'm overreacting, which they are because they're mismanaging the dog. I just want to be sure. Is there an aggression issue here? I want to know what to do, if anything, or is this just puppy that chews on everything, including me and my children? Yes, it's exactly what this is. So, are they doing things wrong? Yeah, they're letting their dog run around with kids and then bite the kids and blah, blah, blah. And then they get down and play with the dog in the house when they shouldn't be doing that. They should be teaching the dog that, hey, when you're in the house, you're laying quietly. You're in your dog crate. You're in your X-Pen. You can have toys in the X-Pen. Don't get me wrong here. You can have a lot of toys in the X-Pen in your house. It's just you don't play with the toys with the dog. It plays with the toys itself. And then when you hook up, when you want to get him out of the X-Pen or the crate, you hook a leash on him and you walk him outside. That kind of trickles down to house training too. Usually puppies are going to pee and poop after they sleep, eat, or have exercise. So if you have your dog in a dog crate and it's been sleeping for a couple hours, you get him out, first thing you do is you take him outside and let him pee or poop. Or if you just have fed your dog in the dog crate, we feed them twice a day in the dog crate. When they're done, they go outside within minutes after they're done eating, because you're going to see that's when they pee and poop. So these people want to do the right thing. I give them credit. They're trying. Don't get me wrong for maybe sounding too critical for them, but these are common questions we see all the time, And folks just have to learn how they want to live with their dog. Do you want a crazy dog running around your house when it's 60, 70, 80 pounds? I don't. We don't. Do we want a dog that is calm in the house and he's not going to jump all over the kids and he's not going to try and play with the kids in the house? We don't want that. We want our dogs to come in and lay down and accept the kids for what they are. But it doesn't happen by accident, because you are as responsible for teaching your kids as you are for introducing your dog to your family.